Hey, everyone!
Welcome to another video where we look at a different book of the Bible. And today we're looking at the book of 1 Peter. Now,
There are a few things you should know about this book before we dive in.
first of all, it was written by the Apostle Peter. Now, Peter is one of Jesus' 12 disciples, and he's also considered one of the rock,
Or the chief cornerstone of the church.
and so he wrote this letter to encourage Christians who are suffering persecution because of their faith in Jesus Christ. Now, when we look at the theme of this book, what we see is encouragement for Christians who are going through hard times.
So Peter wants to remind them that God is sovereign over all things, and they need to trust in him and obey his word. All right, let's dive right into chapter 1 and we'll see what this book is all about.
Verse 1, Simon Peter, a servant and a spokesman for Jesus Christ. That's who this letter is from. And he's writing to Christians who are spread abroad in Pontus, in the Roman province of Asia Minor. And he calls them the elect according to the foreknowledge of God the Father. So these are people who have been chosen by God before the foundation of the world to be saved. And they've been made holy by the Spirit, and they are being kept by God for salvation, ready to be revealed at the last time. And so Peter reminds them, verse 7, the end of your faith, which is salvation, is to be obtained by the means of your faith itself, which has been submitted for your obedient children. Therefore, and now let this submission bring about praise, glory, and peace. So Peter reminds them that they've placed their faith in Jesus Christ, and that is what will result in their salvation. So Peter writes this letter to encourage Christians who are going through difficult times, who are suffering for their faith. And he reminds them that God is in control. He is the one who has all things in his hands. They need to trust in him and obey his word. So we see throughout this book, Peter encourages believers to live holy lives in the midst of a sinful world. He talks about slander, gossip, anger, and living peaceful lives among those who oppose them in their faith. And he encourages them to be witnesses of Christ. In fact, in chapter 3, verses 15 to 16, he says, "But sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, resist the devil, and he will flee. Resist therefore opposing forces, withstand, therefore, the attacks of the wicked one, resisting, therefore, this evil hour. As it is written, I believed, therefore, I have spoken. We have swallowed down like the sun and the moon. The Lord God will utterly destroy the land and its inhabitants, and will leave it in everlasting waste." So Peter encourages believers to resist temptation and to live holy lives in the midst of a sinful world. If you want to know more about what's in this book, I would recommend reading through it. It's not very long, and I think you'll find it to be quite encouraging. God bless you.